Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another fantastic episode of, you guessed it, Gamestack Podcast. Oh, this is episode 72. Excuse me, I'm speaking. Thank you very much. I'm speaking. Welcome, guys. I'm your co-host, Vendertron. Joining us this evening is the lovely Shalene. Hello, Shalene.
Hi.
How are you
Hello, everyone.
doing?
Really good. I took a day off and I feel fantastic.
Excellent. And Rick, welcome. How you doing?
Good. Hi. Hello.
What's new with you guys? I haven't seen you guys in a while. I'm sorry I had to take a little bit of a mental hiatus there for a few weeks, but it's lovely to be back. So, how's your?
How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm doing okay. Yeah, doing good. Things are a little stressful. COVID specific things ramping up. I've been drafted by the federal government to potentially provide some aid, so we'll see how that goes. I'm a little bit nervous about that. But how's your guys' weeks been?
The week was horrible. It was terrible. Terrible and horrible, and I'd like to never think of it again.
Oh,
but
dear.
today was good.
I finally got my first IT certification, so I'm very happy about that.
Wait, what does that mean?
I am like information technology certification.
Right. So
Yes,
what can you do now?
I took my baby step into it. This is like the first step into getting more certifications that are better.
Oh.
But this was the one that, was a little self-learned kind of thing. So yeah.
Nice.
It was good. But
Congratulations.
other than that, everything's been terrible.
Yes, it is a very trying time for all of us. I think I speak for every Canadian in the world when I say we definitely feel for you Americans. So.
By the way, chat is saying I am very quiet.
Oh. All right. Let me see if I can try and fix that. Do we have anything to mention, you guys? Anything you guys want to mention this week?
Not really. Let me see if I can turn up. Nope, I'm turned up all the way.
Yeah, you're good now.
I guess if you're an American, register to vote.
Yes.
There's still time.
Vote.
Yeah.
Yes, very important. Election time is coming. Probably one of the most important elections in our lifetime so far for America.
They say that in every election.
They do, and it's always true, is the thing.
Yeah, but this one is particularly, it's a tipping point. I mean, I don't want to go into politics about it.
They all feel that way, though. They all feel that way.
Yeah.
Anyways, go vote. It's very important. Voting is important. Democracy, preserving democracy is important. I don't know if we have anything else to mention. Other than to say, if you are watching us live, make sure you hit that host button and share us with the rest of the Twitch community. Follow us on Twitter at We Just Love Games. And you can also send us an email if you're interested in sharing your gaming story or you have a question for us. You can always send us an email at info@wejustlovegames.com, and we will read those out on the show as always. We have some new people to the Discord. Shalene, do you wanna welcome our new Discordians?
All right. This is quite a list, you guys.
It
A
is.
list. It's partially because Discord has been busy, partially because we haven't done a show in like 3 weeks. But new to the Discord, we have Laudenusen Lotinison,
That was well done. She did a good job on that.
Sneaker Boss, and Wasteland Medic, Urahara, Argon, Cocaine Zombie, Typhoon Jim, Sullivan Sevens Racin, 100% Scary, Jamie definitely is, Gaming Alien, and back from the corner of shame, we have Amy and Bit Trash Riot. So
That may have that 100%, that may have been a typo. Yes.
What?
Yeah, that was a Freudian slip. It's actually James.
Oh, 100% Scary, James definitely is.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Um,
So this Gaming Alien, Rick, that was the guy from Nuclear Winter.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Wait, the one you shilled to?
No, the one that recognized us.
Oh, oh, that was a cute story. That was cool.
Yeah, we'll go into that later.
Yeah. All right.
Um,
Yeah, go ahead, Shalene. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. But we would invite you all to please join us on our Discord server. It's a lovely place. It's a very friendly place. And we really enjoy being able to connect with the listeners there. So you can join our Discord by clicking the link that is on our Twitch page. Even if Twitch is not live, that link is still there, so you can use that. Alternately, you can send any of us a message on social media, and we will get you that link. Probably I'm the most successful one to send a message to on social media.
That's
because Rick
very
is no
true.
longer on Twitter. Yeah. So send me a message on social media or one of the show accounts, and we'll get you added to the Discord.
Great, thanks. So we're going to talk about some news tonight. We're going to share with you the latest and greatest of the stock market in the gaming industry, and Shalene's going to give you an update on what you might want to consider investing in this month. Then we're going to talk about gameplay and not do a special Thanksgiving segment because that's only in Canada. So I'm just going to quickly delete that from the notes. Rick, why don't you go through some of the new releases for this month? Oh, wait. And this just in.
We got to knock some of the rust off.
Rick, why don't you go through some of the new releases this month? Also, a big shout out to Joseph Tao, who does a lot of work in putting together some of these lists and articles for us. So well wishes to him. He's had a rough go the last couple of weeks, so we're sending him lots of love.
Yes, as always, thank you, Joseph.
All right. So, sorry, I was trying to respond comically to 4 Mile in the chat. However, I am now required to do a thing for the show.
I mean, we're doing a podcast here.
It's your job.
You hold your side conversations until after we're done. Do you think?
Sorry.
I mean.
All right. So.
How's that wine?
Actually, it's a gin and tonic.
Oh, okay.
I'm watching the waistband.
Right.
Anyway,
vodka water.
Anyhow, it's October the 9th, which means we've had 9 days of some releases, and we're going to start from October 1st because maybe you missed 1 or 5 of them. Starting off with October the 1st, you could have gotten Little Big Workshop for the Switch. You get Super Mario Brothers 35.
Huh?
Yes, that is okay. That is the Battle Royale. Oh. And I have to try it. I feel like I've been training for this my whole life.
It's actually called Super Mario Brothers 35, though?
Yes.
Was there a 34?
No, it's because there are 35 players. Like Tetris 99 has 99 players.
I see.
Yeah. So messed up these days.
But I'm really excited to try Mario 35. I definitely need to give that a try.
Okay.
All right. So that is available for the Switch. You can get Warsaw for the Switch, as well as Ys or Wise, I don't know, Origin, Wise Origin for the Switch, October 1st. October the 2nd, this was a big one, Star Wars: Squadrons for the PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. It looks great. I haven't tried it yet. Some of my friends have it. They say it's great. I'm pretty... wow, that got really... Anyway, so I think it's available on EA Play. So if you have EA Play, you can get Star Wars Squadrons. Crash Bandicoot 4: It's About Time is available for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One. Baldur's Gate 3 Early Access for the PC and Stadia. Ride 4 for PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, as well as I Am Dead for PC and Switch. And Eichenfell, PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Switch. And FIFA 21, no different than the other ones, I'm sure, is available today. Ben 10 : Power Trip. Oof. PlayStation 4,
Power
Xbox.
trips are some of the worst kinds of power trips.
Usually
power trips.
Usually on Sundays.
That is available for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. And the Survivalists is available for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. That is today. Games coming out later in October, you get Second Extinction, Steam Early Access. That's a little on the nose there, guys. Anyway, that's available for PC October the 13th. Please don't let that be a Friday. It is not. We're all safe. All right. Remothered Broken Porcelain. Wow, that sounds like it could be terrifying.
Broken porcelain. Oh boy! Don't fart. You'll chip the bowl.
They must have had Taco Bell
I
before.
feel
Broken Porcelain.
Wow.
Oy.
That's like that toilet in Resident Evil 7 that you have to get the gun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But Remothered Broken Porcelain sounds like it could be a survival horror. It does kind of have that name feel.
It is a spooky game. Yeah,
Oh,
it's definitely
I
a spooky game.
Knew it.
Oh god.
Does it have to do with dolls? Because Broken Porcelain dolls?
I think it might. It's one of the ones that we were looking at a while back in terms
Okay.
of bringing out for a Survival Horror
Gotcha.
Sunday.
So that's available on October 13th, PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and the Switch, along with Torchlight 3, PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. But wait, there's more. There's 2 more games coming out on the 13th. Joe: Operation Blackout, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Switch and PC. I didn't even know there was a G.I. Joe game coming out.
Neither.
Interesting. Well, as they say, knowledge is power. Red Wings: Aces of the Sky for the Xbox One is on October 13th as well. Moving on to October 14th, we have Partisans 1941 for the PC. No idea what that means. Guessing it's World War II. Cook, Serve, Delicious 3. Dash Early Access, PC, Xbox One, and Switch on October 14th. And then October 15th, you can expect such goodies as Age of Empires 3: Definitive Edition, PC. That's October 15th. And then Craftlands Workshoppy, Steam Early Access for the PC, along with Cake Bash, PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Stadia, and Cloudpunk, also available on October 15th for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Switch. Guys, here's one we've all been waiting for. Monster Truck Championship, Gravedigger. Everybody ready for that one? Let's see here. That's available on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. And the last 2 here are also available on October 15th. Raji, an Ancient Epic. PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC.
That one looks really good, actually. Raji?
What is it?
It's like it's based in India, and it has a lot of ties to Indian mythology.
Oh, cool.
Really
That's
cool.
a crazy mythology.
Mm-hmm.
They say Greek is complicated. I'm pretty sure India's is fairly complicated too. That actually sounds cool.
Yeah, it looks really neat. It's kind of a platform puzzle type game.
Ooh. How's the artwork?
Beautiful.
Oh, cool. So there you go. And the last game that's going to come out on October 15th is Space Crew. PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC, and the Switch.
Ooh.
On October 16th, the following titles are available. Mario Kart Live, Home Circuit on the Switch. I didn't realize there was another Mario Kart coming out.
Me either.
NHL.
With that.
Maybe it's, I wonder if it's, I don't know. NHL 21, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, and 9 Monkeys of Shaolin, PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and the Switch. On October the 20th, you can get Amnesia: Rebirth. Ugh. Nobody wants Rebirth.
Ooh. Yeah.
Followed by Remothered: Broken Porcelain again on the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. What's the difference?
I don't know. Was the other release for a different platform?
No, it's for the same platforms.
PC, PS4, Xbox One, Switch. Well, I think the difference is that Joseph Tao had a tough week.
Okay.
So let's move on.
Sure. The Guys on PC, October 20th.
Use guys? Those guys?
If you mean use guys in the sense of use a mask.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Like a guy's, like a guy. It's a the
Hey, Rick, can you
what?
Can you look a little bit lower in your screen just for a sec?
Do I have to sit? How low do you have this thing? I usually hunch over a little bit.
Wait. Let me just get that for you. Sorry. Got it.
Guys,
Hold on a
okay, these
second. Well,
visual
wait a minute.
gags are great for our 99% audio listeners.
Well, no, apparently I'm too low, so I'm going to raise my chair up. Because
Ooh.
apparently
Ooh.
Oh goodness.
I didn't. Well, I don't know where the camera is cropped at, so I'm just looking at the big.
Just
screen that
continue.
I have. Scorchbringer on October 21st, PC, Xbox One, and Switch, and then on October 22nd you get Disc Room on PC and Switch, as well as the Red Lantern on PC and Switch as well. Pokemon Sword and Shield: the Crown Tundra comes out on October 22nd for the Switch. Does this mark the first Pokemon game for the Switch?
Oh no, there have been loads of Pokemon games.
Oh, okay. Transformers Battlegrounds for PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and the Switch comes out on the 23rd. Moving forward to the 27th, we have Ghost Runner on PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and the Switch. And then Trails of Cold Steel 4 on PlayStation 4. Hammer Ting. Stop! Hammer Ting. PC,
Nice.
Steam Early Access. And then on October 28th, we have Agos: A Game of Space on the Rift, Vive, and Index.
So wait a minute. Is that the acronym? AGOS: A Game of Space? Why did they do that?
For funsies.
That's
They're
what a naming
trying
convention.
they're trying to get the popularity like PUBG did.
Ah,
Oh, yeah. PUBG
Goodness.
player. Yeah.
But the funny thing
Anyway.
is they should know by now that people just make their own acronyms,
yes.
right?
Too true.
I'm so not a fan.
Because they're tired of saying the really long-winded name for something. Like remothered broken porcelain is just going to be RBP. Right? Anyways, continue.
Here.
On the 29th of October, you get Watch Dogs: Legion. PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Stadia, PS5, Xbox Series S and X. Actually, I'm sorry. November 10th is the Xbox Series S and X. Song of Horror Complete Edition. PlayStation 4, Xbox One on October 29th. And on October 30th, we get The Dark Pictures Dashed Little Hope on PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. Pikmin 3 Deluxe comes out for the Switch on October 30th. And the scariest game of all that comes out on Halloween Day for the PlayStation 4 is Auto Chess.
Yeah,
Followed
sounds the math checks out.
Followed by Transient coming in October, PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. If you're like me and you've already blown through your budget for October, there's a couple of free games coming out.
It's like October 9th. What are you doing?
I forgot it was October. Did I blow my budget for October already? I don't know. Need for Speed: Payback, and Vampire are the free games on the PlayStation Plus. They're available from October 6th to November 2nd. The Xbox free games with gold for October. Let's see here. Slay Away Camp, Butcher's Cut, October 1st to the 31st. Made of Skur, October 16th through the 15th of November. Sphinx and the Cursed Mummy, October 1st to the 15th. And then Costume Quest, October 16th through the 31st. I hate that Xbox does these halvesy things.
Mm-hmm.
It's frustrating.
It's annoying.
Twitch Prime free games.
Can I just interject and say that I think Sphinx and the Cursed Mummy had a sorry, Freudian slip there. Free games. Missed an opportunity. They could have called it Sphinx: The Cursed Mummy.
Sphinxter.
Just saying.
The Cursed Mummy: Sphinxter.
Missed opportunity.
Shalene's just. Anyway,
We don't care anymore.
I've never cared. The 5 games coming out with Twitch Prime free games: Autonauts, Pumped BMX Pro, Effie, Tiny Troopers, Joint Ops, and Outcast: Second Contact. I'm done talking for a while.
Okay, that's it for the free games. And Rick,
Oy.
thank you for taking us through the October releases. That one was a
That was a
marathon.
splendid month.
Yeah.
That was
That's
a
a lot going
splendid
on.
month of new releases.
None of them I care about, except for I want to say Rogue Squadron, but that's not it.
Star Wars.
Star Wars
Yeah.
Squadrons.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued by Baldur's Gate 3, not because I'm that interested in the game, but because I am interested in the character creator.
Yeah.
This looks like an extremely robust and detailed character creator, and I really want to try it.
I like the Baldur's Gate games.
I've never played one.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I'm not sure that I would jive with the gameplay.
The
But
dungeon crawling, top-down
Yeah.
hack and slash. Yeah.
I just want to try out the character creator. It looks extremely robust, and I really want to try it.
Wonderful.
I didn't look into that, but anyway.
So, are you guys going to be buying the new Xbox console?
Probably not.
I've got 2 of them pre-ordered.
I was
2?
just going to say, Shalene's probably got like 3 pre-ordered.
One for each hand?
I've got 2 Xboxes pre-ordered. I was determined to get one for the niece and nephew, right? Like determined to get them one for Christmas.
That's
because
awesome.
they're wonderful and they deserve it. And I grabbed 2 because they were canceling a lot of pre-orders. So I got one from Microsoft and one from Amazon. And neither one has been canceled. And I have no self-control, so I'm thinking I may just keep that second one.
Or order a third just as a backup.
Well, I mean, yeah, I need somewhere to put the first one so I can stack them on top of each other.
Well,
Did you get the Series X or S?
The Series X.
The Series X, yeah. Well, this article comes from VGC, written by Tom Ivan, and he talks about Phil Spencer's comments regarding 8K, the rumored 8K resolution. Now, we know that the new Xbox console is going to run games at true 4K, but will also be capable of producing an 8K output resolution. However, Phil Spencer, in an interview with Wired, said that he cast some doubt on whether or not 8K will actually be widely adopted in the video game industry. He said, I think 8K is aspirational technology. The display capabilities of devices are not really there yet. I think we're years away from 8K being, if it ever is, standard in video games. And the Xbox console, including also the well, I mean, the Xbox console is going to have 8K capabilities, but the problem is that many of our televisions are not going to have that capability, right? And so, you know, the Xbox boasts, you know, ray tracing support, and being able to deliver, you know, true to life lighting and accurate reflections and realistic acoustics and things like that. Which I think are going to be still pretty fantastic in 4K resolution. But yeah, Phil Spencer says, you know, when I think about games where ray tracing has had a dramatic impact on my experience as a player, it's kind of spotty. But the Series S will run games natively at 1440p, up to 120 frames per second, and also be able to be upscaled to 4K. And can stream media at a much higher resolution. But what do you guys think about 8K? I thought I would include this article because it seems to be buzzing about, people getting excited about it. Have you guys seen 8K? Do you know? Have you experienced it?
No, I've never seen 8K.
I'm not even on 4K.
I'm sure
my graphics card has 3 numbers instead of 4 these days. I'm way behind the curve here.
Rick, don't you have a 4K monitor? Or is it
No,
Shalene?
man, I've never had one.
That's me, yeah.
Yeah.
I had a 4K monitor before I was 4K able on my computer because I was future-proofing. And I really like it. I can run games in 4K, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
I can tell the difference. I feel like it's a similar jump between standard definition and 1080p. You know, I feel like it's comparable to that jump. I can't imagine that. I mean, I'm sure 8K is wonderful, but I feel like there's a point at which my eyes will not be able to tell the difference.
Well, and that's exactly it, right? I think L Yankee in the chat also said the same thing. Unless you have a 100+ screen to not have pixels too far apart, 8K is far away and not really
Mhm.
visible to the human eye. I
Mhm.
think that we're entering into a realm of different types of visual arts in terms of like simulation and visual or virtual reality. I wonder if 8K would be, a virtual reality
That's
experience,
interesting. That's
something
very
that's more
interesting.
appropriate for that.
Well, something else too that I wonder is, are humans slowly evolving to be more sensitive to these higher definitions? I mean, someone who, thinking from like audio perspective, I I would almost say that engineers hear more detail now than they did before in the 20s, or maybe they just didn't have the equipment to hear that detail. I don't know, but maybe future generations will be sensitive to 8K. I don't know.
Right.
I because at one point people were saying human eyes could never see past 30 frames per second, which is just not true. I don't even know where that ever came from, but
The fruit
I think
scientists.
yeah, I think 4K is a good standard. I can't see 8K coming along in the mass produced in every home
No,
for a
again,
while
I
now.
think it's one of those things that will be more appropriate for maybe a virtual reality or cinemas if they don't
Yeah.
die off. But
For what?
cinemas if they don't die off.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so I think Xbox really has an exceptional console. I think it's going to be really good.
I don't know how Xbox is gonna make money.
I don't know how anybody's going to make money, but PS5 is coming soon as well in parallel, and they're giving Xbox a run for their money. So this next article, also a VGC article by Andy Robinson, talks about the first PlayStation 5 hands-on preview and the overall impression from two separate publications gave particular praise to the PS5's cooling system. Um, so Dengeki, who is the publication's one of the publications, and the other one is 4Gamer, but Dengeki said the quietness of the fans was more impressive than the loading times. While 4Gamer also remarked on similar comments, saying, I started playing one of the launch titles, Godfall, and after some time passed, I checked the temperature. The breeze coming from the exhaust port was gentle, and it didn't feel exceedingly hot. During this time, the studio itself was about 30 degrees Celsius. Based on the specifications of the SoC, it operates around 55 to 60 degrees Celsius. While you might think, isn't that fan loud? It was quite the opposite. So that's exciting because my PS4 and my PS3 both sound like those jet propulsion fan bolts that
Yes.
they have down in
Mhm.
Florida where you go gator hunting with. This
I
is like
two things that might take away from this. First of all, yeah, how loud were the previous PlayStations
massively
for the
loud.
fan to be
Incredibly loud.
whatever?
Like when the fan would kick on, I would have to turn up my TV.
Yeah, I basically only played with headphones because I would have to turn my TV obnoxiously loud.
Spruce goose of
Yeah.
consoles. And secondly, well, I was gonna say secondly, like how lackluster does something need to be for like, but the fans are real quiet. But it's like, what about the graphics and the load times and everything else? Yeah, but the fans are real are
You know,
real quiet.
I definitely think the fans being quiet is worth calling out.
I think
I
absolutely.
really do.
Yeah.
But I like how that's like the top press is like, this is better than the load times. Like, really?
Well, I mean, Dengeki said, I want to report that the quietness of the fans was more impressive than the load times, adding, there must be many people who are interested in this. So,
Wow. That's
um,
great press for the PlayStation 5 combating the
in
Xbox.
all seriousness, though, I mean, I would expect it to run a lot quieter because they're running solid state technology in it now, right?
Asher Dust said he got noise canceling headphones because of his PS4.
Not surprised. Not surprised. I really I don't know. And this machine, it's so big. that I feel like they've got the ability to build in more cooling because the
Mhm,
PS5 is
mhm.
so big.
Well, and you would think with the new solid state technology that they're putting in for these hard drives, there's less mechanical moving parts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
Yeah.
in the disc cons. Can you still get disc consoles?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
gonna have. So yeah, I mean that's a factor, of course, but um, like the size and shape, like you said, is a big influencer. I think for improving circulation overall. Um, but there was a
White side panels come off of the PS5. They did like a breakdown of the console, a video showing it disassembled. Those side panels come off, and that makes me think that they're going to be selling side panels, like
Mhm.
the Xbox 360 had all of those skins that you could
Parts.
buy.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I feel like they're going to be selling
Oh,
decorative side panels for the
that's really
PS5.
smart.
I'm so excited for when we finally get to go back to malls and we see those little kiosks in the middle of the malls with all like the bejeweled PS5 side
Oh
thing.
my gosh, I want a bejeweled PS5!
And you're like, this is totally. They're like, this is totally from Apple's. Is the manufacturer? It's legit, and it's $5. I can't wait for those.
It's gonna
Well,
be great. I will totally buy bejeweled PS5 panels though.
there was I mean, okay, so according to Bloomberg sources, um, the cooling system is one of the pieces of hardware that was unusually expensive for manufacturing.
Oh, interesting.
So it would appear that Sony splurged a little bit on putting cooling hardware into their consoles. So, which I mean is literally probably just a stronger fan.
I was gonna say that, or they got the what is it? The liquid bearing fans that are like
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
$30 instead of 15.
yeah. So, yeah. Anyways, I wonder how loud the Xbox, the Series X, is gonna be now. I'm all curious.
I don't know, but I heard that it gets hot. Um, Reports are saying that this thing it's hot like a stovepipe. Like
Really?
you can heat your room with the Xbox Series X.
Didn't the 360 like one of the reasons it got the red ring was because it would heat and the glue would
Yes,
melt?
yes.
Oh, I
The
can't wait.
solder would melt,
happen.
not
Yeah.
just the glue, the
Yeah, the
solder.
solder. Jeez,
See,
that's
That's
hot.
Why-
why the
when you can
solution
just
was
build a
to
PC?
overheat it even more by wrapping it in a towel, and then it would overheat and the solder would melt again and kind of refuse.
Well,
Oh,
because
God.
the reason you don't buy a PC vendor is because, for instance, the cheaper graphics card from NVIDIA, the 3070, is going to be just $500. That's just the graphics card, and the Xbox Series S is going to be $500 for the entire
Yeah,
console.
The
yeah.
Series S is 250,
Oh, I thought it was
$299.
$399.
The Series X is
Mm.
$499.
There, my point exactly. I mean, I'm still going to stay with PC, but I'm just saying the yeah, the
Yeah.
PC cards are expensive.
Low barrier to entry, and
It's turnkey. It's turnkey. You
Mhm.
buy it, you install the game, you go.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I still think that's so funny that the PC considers themselves a master race, but when just a graphics component comes out, we're like, hey, it's only $500. It's cheap. It's cheap. It's fine.
and it's so cheap. It's so cheap compared to previous
I know it
generations.
is, but still, it's the price of a console.
I know. Oh my gosh.
It's I don't know. It's
You're nuts.
I don't know if I'm ever really gonna go back to a console. To
I
be
can't.
perfectly honest, I just
Mhm.
I don't know. I just I think if I were to go back to the console feel, the only thing I would ever do would be to use a controller on my PC.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I do that a lot. I use controllers on my PC pretty regularly.
yeah.
Guys, I got a Wii. I forgot to mention.
Oh, that's fun.
Well, I mean, just be fast.
What?
Hurry back.
Oh.
Oh. Wow, that was good.
No,
You're good. You're good.
that's a funny one.
Mm-hmm.
It's the red Wii.
Oh no.
Let's just continue.
You should get that checked.
Speaking of red, doctors who play video games are more than 3 hours a week actually make fewer operating room errors. Yeah. So there's this study that came out that wanted to look at the relationship between surgeons who play video games and their surgical error rate in the operating room. The study was published in the Archives of Surgery, and they found that doctors who played video games for more than 3 hours each week made 37% fewer surgical errors than those
That's
who didn't.
awesome.
They also performed 27% faster and scored 42% better on a particular test of surgical skills. So I wanted to share this because I thought it was really sort of
That is really cool.
cool, right? And it
Mhm.
makes sense. And I think that this would apply both to console and PC games. I don't know what method they looked at, but it's a dexterity thing, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, you watch those
Hand-eye coordination.
you watch those guys that play Fortnite and like Call of Duty, and they're just so fast with their hands, right? So yeah, it totally makes sense to me. According to the researchers, this study supports earlier findings that video games can actually improve fine motor skills, hand-eye coordination, visual attention, depth perception, and also computer competency. So, yeah, I thought that I would just share that nice little piece of loveliness with you guys.
Isn't it
really
going to be
interesting.
great that in 20 years, Booby Kitty 99, who was like awesome at Fortnite, is now going to be doing brain surgery?
Yeah, I
It
always
gives me
man.
pause, but at the same time, I'm like, go for it, kid. Get first place in my head.
right. You know what? I love these win stories about video games sort of creeping their way into other industries in a
Yeah.
positive way. So I've got a few other ones up my sleeve.
Let's do it.
So there's a new article by Bazinga written by Henry Kadarian, and oh wait, this is not the right article. Oh, that's the wrong link. Okay, we're just gonna skip over that. This next article comes to us from the NIH, National Institute on Aging, in which a study was published talking about video games showing potential improvement for key aspects of memory in older adults. So it might be time for you to team up in Fortnite or PUBG or Fallout 76 with grandma and show her the wasteland. So this study is just good news. They showed that novel environments can be delivered virtually to almost any sort of home setting, right? But the findings from the study published in the Behavioral Brain Research Journal showed that individuals 60 to 80 years of age who were recruited showed better cognitive memory and cognitive benefits due to playing certain games. Now, they showed that gameplay from games such as Angry Birds could show potential cognitive benefits. Why are you laughing?
I just like how I just still feel like we always treat older adults as like babies. You know, we're like, so we had them play Angry Birds just to not overwhelm them. It's just funny.
Next, she's
Like
grandma's playing
throw them in a
Call of Duty.
Warzone. I'd love to see that one.
No. Some of those guys
Oh,
went
my
through
goodness.
Vietnam. Like, it's bad. While memory for performance was equivalent across groups prior to engaging in video gameplay, 2 weeks of Angry Birds or Super Mario gameplay resulted in improved recognition memory. Memory continued to improve after an additional 2 weeks for the Super Mario players compared to the solitaire players, and these improvements persisted after daily gameplay ended. No additional memory improvements were found in Angry Bird players. So, there you go, Rick.
When I was a child, I had the Nintendo 64, like a lot of us did, and I had Lego racers, and my mom would try to play Lego racers, and at the time she's like 40, so she's not like she could handle. But for some reason, she could never get the idea of a joystick down, and she would just constantly hold it to the left. So like I would look down at her screen, and her car would be going like bam, 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 like just constantly running into a wall. And I'd like grab her hand and I'd move her thumb back to the center. I'm like, just let it here. And like 5 seconds later, bam, 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 right into the wall again. And I just gave up.
That's awesome. Well, I mean, the overall interpretation from NIH and the authors of this study say that the findings suggest that both novel experiences and exposure to rich 3D environments may work together to improve cognition, which could pose possible interventions for improving cognition, particularly for older individuals who are at risk for cognitive decline. So,
Let me talk about my grandparents a little bit.
sure, yeah.
So a few years ago, when my grandpa was still with us, grandpa had Alzheimer's, grandpa has dementia. We've been looking after them for a long time. Grandpa's no longer with us. But it was during the Xbox 360 era. They came in while I was playing Red Dead Redemption, and they loved watching it. So they would watch me play Red Dead Redemption, just like riding the horse, and they just liked watching basically that kind of thing, just riding the horse across
Sure,
the
yeah.
pastures
Yeah.
and that kind of thing. And I was trying to get them to try it and to play themselves, because they were still in a position where they were able to do that. And my grandma, when she realized that she was controlling the character on the TV, she threw the controller. It freaked her out so badly. She threw the controller. And another experience that I had with video games with them was with the Wii, and I had Link's crossbow training, which was just like a little shooting gallery type game.
Yeah.
And they were incredible at this game. My grandparents were both just like, they destroyed me at this game. They were so good at it because it was just pointing and shooting. And that's just some wholesome grandparents playing video games stories.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
I
Rick.
did not have. I was just gonna say I did not have fond gaming memories of gaming with my parents. Like my fondest memories of gaming with my folks is my mom yelling at me for the amount of blood in GoldenEye 007. It was just like little red like stains on a shirt, But yeah, I was not raised in that sort of. They let me play a bunch of games, which I'm very thankful for. But I'm very kind of excited to see how my daughter ages through her ability and because we let her play games and stuff. So to see how she looks back on playing games with us.
Well, it's
really
funny
excited
that
for
you should say that, Rick, because this next article that I have in the lineup comes from IFL Science, and it's shout out
IFL Science.
Shout out to IFL Science for writing this article. I wanted to share it with you guys. A new research study published in Frontiers in Human Neuroscience suggests that playing video games might actually make you better at cognitive tasks, which we just talked about. But this time they focused on younger individuals, people 18 to 40 years of age. So they involved 27 people, which is a small sample size, of individuals 18 to 40 years of age that had either played video games in the past during their childhood or never touched them, the control group. Each participant was tested on their cognitive skills before being subjected to 1.5 hours of playing a video game for 10 consecutive days. Then immediately after the training period, and finally 15 days after gaming, they then... so the game that was in question that they used was the Super Mario 64.
Nice.
One that's been shown to correlate with structural changes in the brain actually previously.
Really?
Yes. One group was
game I grew up on.
One group
so
was also subject to transcranial magnetic stimulation, TMS, a technique of non-invasive brain stimulation to see if it could improve their gaming performance. So participants from both groups improved their gaming performance. Practice makes perfect after all. But there was seemingly no enhanced effect as a result of the stimulation. However, participants performed differently at working memory tasks before the game training, but showed similar results after 15 hours of gaming sessions. Now, originally, they set out to test whether or not a combination of video game training and non-invasive brain stimulation could actually be used to enhance cognition, and those results showed otherwise. So what they did was they turned to other variables that might explain the differences in memory task scores. So after controlling for age and gender, they looked at past gaming experience, and what they discovered was that avid gamers during pre-adolescence performed markedly better at working memory tasks than those that had never gamed before. So, although and this is like pre-adolescent, so like when you're younger, like probably under 10 years of age. They don't specify the age group here, but the statement from the researchers said, and this is Dr. Mark Paulus of UOC, said people who were avid gamers before adolescence, despite no longer playing, perform better with the working memory tasks, which require mentally holding and manipulating information to get a result. And those who played regularly as children perform better from the outset in processing 3D objects, although these differences were mitigated after the period of training in video gaming when both groups showed similar levels. So it's really cool because there can be a positive benefit to children playing video games and having exposure to that environment cognitively. So, yeah, just another great study about how video games can benefit our brains, because I think video games get a bad rap when it comes to health.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I like how when we were children, like our generation, even generation before us, you know, our argument was like, video games make us smarter. And like, we didn't know. We were just saying that to defend ourselves from playing video games. And then now when the studies are actually coming out, we can say, see, we told you.
Wow, this is a trend, right, that we're seeing, because
Yeah.
for the last 10 years, everybody was like, video games cause violence. That's why all these shootings are happening. Blah, 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 blah. Little Billy murdered his 4 family members and the dog, and people are like, it's
Not
video
the dog.
games.
Oh, George, not the livestock.
So
Nelson didn't have video games.
it's a trend now, right? So now researchers are fighting back. You know, they're looking at all this evidence and saying, hey, there's nothing good about this. We have to start asking the questions that are pertinent, that we can really sort of show that video games are beneficial, or test
Awesome.
that video games are beneficial. So anyways, in other news, Sarah Silverman has a new boyfriend.
What are we, like a tabloid
This is
now?
the TMZ version of the podcast.
Wait
Jeez.
for it.
I'm waiting.
Entertainment Tonight by Rachel McGrady reports that Sarah Silverman has a new boyfriend. However, here's the kicker. She met him via video games.
Really?
Yes. So, Sarah Silverman found love virtually amid the pandemic. And there was no dating apps involved. She's 49 years old, and on Thursday's episode of Ellen DeGeneres, she talked about her love of video games while in quarantine and how that led to her new romance. So she said, as the world was shutting down, I thought I should start playing video games again. It just made sense, she quips, adding that she got very into Call of Duty World War II. And she said, this guy who I knew peripherally, we have mutual friends and stuff. We knew each other a bit. He direct messaged me on Twitter, and he says, I'll play with you online. And she said, you know, we're both in quarantine. So every night she was in New York, and at 7, they would bang the pots and pans outside of the fire escape. It became more of a primal scream, and it was actually kind of beautiful in New York at that time. I don't know why she's telling us this. This is her direct quote, by the way, you guys. But then she said, at 7:05, I put my headset on, and I killed Nazis with this guy. And then she's like, I mean, yada, yada, yada. We're boyfriend and girlfriend now.
I mean, what better way to build a relationship than killing Nazis together?
I know. So then she goes on to say, he came out here. He's also living out here, and it's great. And it's just lots of fun. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Good for her.
I think that's really cool. I want to hear more stories like that. I also really like Sarah Silverman. I think she's awesome.
A family that slays Nazis together stays together.
There you go. Speaking of families staying together, GameStop and Microsoft are now in the same household.
What? When did this happen?
Yeah, anyway.
GameStop has announced a multi-year strategic partnership with Microsoft. So this article comes from Global Newswire, written on October 8th by GameStop. And the company says, and I quote, today announced that it has entered into a multi-year strategic partnership agreement with Microsoft Corporation, further advancing its strategy to expand its physical and digital video game offerings, as well as enhancing the company's retail technology infrastructure. With over 5,000 retail stores worldwide and its world-class e-commerce platform, GameStop leverages its vast customer network, power-up rewards, and omni-channel capabilities to deliver enhanced gaming solutions to its customers. Through this partnership, GameStop will standardize the company's business operations on Microsoft's cloud solutions and hardware products to deliver rich new digital experiences to customers, creating the ultimate gaming destination for gamers in its vision to be the premier omnichannel customer access point for video game products. So the partnership includes enterprise and commercial elements. So GameStop's going to standardize back-end and in-store solutions on Dynamics 365, Microsoft portfolio of cloud-based business applications, and customer data platforms. This will include finance, inventory, e-commerce, retail, point-of-sale stuff. Associates will be equipped with new Microsoft Surface devices that will transform the in-store experience and help unlock new retail experiences for the future. And they also plan to roll out the Microsoft 365 and Microsoft Teams to its stores, which will empower more than 30,000 store associates with enhanced productivity and collaboration tools. I assume that has to deal with point of sale as well. And then they said GameStop has also expanded its Xbox family of product offerings to include Xbox All Access, which provides an Xbox console and 24 months of the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate to players with no upfront cost. So the relationship has determined that they will both benefit from this acquisition and a lifetime revenue value of each gamer brought into the Xbox ecosystem. The chief executive officer for GameStop, George Sherman, says, "This is an exciting day at GameStop. As we announce the advancement of an important partnership that capitalizes on power of operating platforms and significant market share in gaming to accelerate our digital transformation, drive incremental revenue streams, and over time further monetize the digital world of gaming. Since joining the company last April, we have been on a mission to evolve our strategy to take advantage of our undisputable leadership position in gaming. Clearly, GameStop is a top destination for an entire spectrum of gaming products, and we are excited about the opportunity to leverage our capabilities in support of the launch of the next generation of gaming consoles and expand our reach and connection to the worldwide gamer community through this partnership." And then he goes on to talk about a bunch of other things. Phil Spencer from Microsoft, Executive Vice President of Gaming, says, "For many years, GameStop has been a strong go-to-market partner for our gaming products, and we're excited about continuing and evolving that relationship for the launch of Xbox Series X and S. GameStop's extensive store base, focus on digital transformation in an omni-channel environment, and expert gamer associates remain an important part of our gaming ecosystem, and we're pleased to evaluate our partnership." So, yeah, what do you guys think about that?
I do miss that time when you would walk into like a GameStop and you just got excited looking at some of the used games and like the games in the shelves, and like they had the demo consoles up and stuff like that. So
GameStop is literally the Blockbuster that is living on. It's fighting the fight, and it's slowly surviving.
Yeah, and like if they do something to revitalize that in-store communal gaming experience, because like GameStop got to be a meme, you know what I mean? Like it went from that destination place to like, oh, I see that you're giving us your console and 15 games. We'll give you 15 cents for that. You know, and like it became this meme. So I hope that it's good. I just think this is a really interesting move in the middle of a pandemic. We're like, yes, we're going to invest in brick and mortar.
Well, here's
No.
what I think about it, right? So there was this sort of phenomenon when you went into a GameStop that it was sort of like a flea market, you know? There was used stuff, there was new stuff, there was all this other last season stuff thrown into a bin that was like half off and it was really cool, and there was all this like
Yeah.
video game merchandise just
Mhm.
outside of games itself that I think drew in a lot of people that didn't even play video games. And there was those elements that Gamestop that I really liked. It's actually one of the best stores to go Christmas shopping for my niece and nephew.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
But I think that this was either Microsoft extending an olive branch or GameStop looking for a port in a storm. Because we know that the company's been struggling. They've been shutting down lots of their stores. And even more, and this was even before the pandemic, but even more so now with the pandemic. So I wonder if this was sort of like a Microsoft's slow in to buy out GameStop, maybe. I don't know.
We also haven't talked about on the show that Microsoft has also recently bought Bethesda
Yeah.
for $7 billion.
$7 billion is a ludicrous amount of money.
It is not a small number.
That's a stupid amount of money. It's no.
So is that
but
what the Fallout franchise is worth? And the Skyrim?
Well,
And
they bought I should say they bought ZeniMax, so they have now id Software, all of Bethesda, all of ZeniMax, anything that was under.
It's a much
it's a
larger
huge-
umbrella
yeah.
than just Bethesda Game Studios.
Yeah.
So
it's yeah.
So Shalene,
Everything.
what do you think about this? Because you haven't weighed in yet.
The GameStop thing, I really have no opinion. Is the reason why I hadn't weighed in.
Oh.
I really, yeah. It seems really strange to me. I can't imagine why Microsoft would make this choice. Plainly, GameStop, they're grasping at straws right now.
Yeah.
They've been struggling for a long, long time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure why Microsoft would make this choice, but we'll see.
Because we know
maybe...
that Microsoft had retail brick and mortar stores and they
But
shut
they
them
closed
down.
them, yeah.
So this might be actually a good sort of way for them to maintain that without having to actually operate the stores themselves. It's GameStop.
That's an interesting way to look at it.
GameStop is doing the work for them.
There's also this idea that like we are so skeptical of anybody doing anything good that Microsoft could just genuinely being, hey, we're going to give you capital because we've got it, and we're going to let you do cool stuff. As long as we see a good return, we'll keep providing you money to do cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like they bought up all these indie developers and gave them this platform. And we're all sitting here going, okay, what's the angle? And Microsoft could just simply be going, there's no angle. We're making money and we're allowing cool things to happen. We're just trying to be cool people. Like Google back in the day, don't be evil. What if Microsoft is just being the cool guy?
I mean, I think it's a cool move and I'm excited about it. But when there's money involved, there's always information that we don't know about.
Oh,
Yes.
well, of course, yeah. I mean, they wouldn't invest this. They wouldn't invest if they didn't think they were going to have a good
Yeah,
ROI.
there's no altruism in business.
Well, no, but
She's
well,
like, trust me.
Well, there can be, but there's always got to be ROI. That's the definitive factor. Like, if you're going to make a profit or not, sure.
If there's ROI, then it's not altruism.
But risk. The amount of risk could determine if it's more altruistic than not. And I'm not saying that Microsoft is completely altruistic. I'm just saying that maybe the business model that they're doing, which is high risk, high reward, is actually kind of paying off because they have all that money that they can risk with.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm just saying all this, like, I'm feeling a little skeptic of Microsoft, but I don't know if that's warranted or not because they're buying everything up, but they're also just letting everyone do the same thing that they did before they bought them.
Right.
That we can
right.
see.
Yeah, so far it does seem with most of their development studios that they've purchased recently that they are just basically providing that capital and that stability and letting the developers do what they do. But we'll see.
Which is weird.
We'll see.
Well,
It feels like it's just shady, but it's not, you know?
yeah. Well, speaking of altruism, I have a more altruistic story to share with you guys. The government of Canada And the Entertainment Software Association of Canada, Video Game Industries, are partnering up to fight COVID together. So this article comes from Cision. Actually, it's direct from Public Health Agency of Canada. The Honourable Patty Hayju, Minister of Health, together with Canada's Chief Public Health Officer Dr. Theresa Tam, announced the launch of a public health awareness campaign entitled #CrushCovid. In this partnership with the Entertainment Software Association of Canada, the campaign will reach gamers and youth across the country through major video game studios here in Canada. Now, we know that cases of COVID-19 among young Canadians are increasing, particularly among those aged 13 to 29. The pandemic continues to fuel on, and many young people have and will continue to use video games as an outlet to pass that time and stay virtually connected to friends and family. So the ESAC and their members' social media platforms are launching #CrushCovid initiative, which will help engage young Canadians where they are congregating virtually and remind them of the important public health practices. So what you can expect this fall is you'll start to see targeted sort of solutions that look at lowering the incident rates of COVID-19 among those specific younger age cohorts. Patty Hayju, the Minister of Health, said, and I quote, "To reach young people, we must meet them where they gather. Through the Public Health Agency of Canada's partnership with Canada's video game industry, we can connect with more young people and share important ways they can protect themselves and their loved ones. We need to work together if we want to crush COVID-19. This new campaign will help youth learn and remember public health measures that will protect everyone." And Theresa Tam says the Entertainment Software Association of Canada is helping to communicate a critical message at a critical time to a critical audience. Over the past month or more, youth aged 13 to 19 and young adults 20 to 29 have accounted for 38% of reported cases in Canada. This is very concerning, and as many young adults live with family members at high risk or work in customer service jobs, the time is now for everyone, especially young Canadians, to come together to help crush COVID. And finally, just to offer up some quick facts. Actually, I should also talk about this quote from the president of the Entertainment Software Association from Canada, Jason Hilsey, who says Canada's video game industry is proud to partner with the Public Health Agency of Canada. We are helping communicate a very important message, blah, 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 and goes on to say we can create environments which support Canadians in engaging safe activities. Now, this is what they're planning to do. If you would like to find out more, you can also go to #CrushCovid. But basically, they're doing, it's like a targeted public health ad campaign that you'll see sort of popping up throughout social media, targeting different gaming communities and things like that. So yeah, I thought that was kind of a cool story that I just wanted to share with you. It's very rare that we see this kind of action from a federal agency like a national government, right? So I think it's really cool. Yeah.
That is really cool. That is good.
Very nice.
Yeah. So my last story, last but not least, I wanted to share a little bit more on the COVID-19 pandemic. We know that this year has really sort of changed everybody's lives. A lot of us have had to move to more virtual environments, and many of us have really, especially us people who play video games, have turned even more so to video games to stay connected with friends and family. So the schools have reopened, transmission has increased. However, online gaming has also increased, especially among younger individuals as well. And so this article comes to us from The Conversation, written by Joe Todd, who is a PhD student in recreation and leisure studies at the University of Waterloo, and he talks about gaming activities.
Sounds like a good career path.
Yeah, he says, as an online gaming scholar, I am devoted to highlighting the importance of online gaming in today's society, and I have shown through my research the financial impacts and growth of the online gaming industry, as well as the social benefits associated with playing video games. In addition, I discussed how parents can manage their child's game time. But then he goes on to say about how games themselves can improve literacy, language, and mathematics. And I mean, we touched on this a little bit earlier, but talks about a recent survey from the United Kingdom's National Literacy Trust, which has shown that more than 35% of children who play video games believe they are better readers. The study also found that more than half of participants who can read and write materials related to gaming at least once per month. And in terms of mathematics, we know that games are built on math, and so when it comes to learning how to develop games, students have that opportunity to incorporate math skills into video game development as well. So that is one positive way in which video games can sort of benefit that, as well as in science. There's a number of cognitive benefits there, and trying to understand how that changes our physiology, like we talked about dexterity with surgeons. And then also we learn a lot about history with video games, right? Especially for some of those period pieces like Assassin's Creed and Sid Meier's Civilization, things like that. So yeah, he just put out this wonderful article about it, talking about all the great things that video games contribute and how it's actually really good for our kids during this pandemic to use video games as a learning experience. So, all you parents out there who are listening. I don't know, Rick, you're a parent. What do you think? I'm tired of talking. Just talk. Please talk.
It's hard to say if I've noticed any correlation between gaming and my daughter's performance. I mean, I'm sure it's there.
Well, I seem to recall you remarking on several past occasions about how smart Evie is and how quick she is to figure things out.
Yeah, she's definitely doing. I mean, she's not genius, but I mean, and I mean that in the most loving way. But she's doing like schoolwork on like a third and potentially fourth grade level in some cases, especially with math.
Math is a wonderful thing.
It's a weird thing as a parent watching your young child play with screen time. We try to limit it, but like it's definitely a factor where if she has it too much, she gets super pissy. And it's so weird. It is so weird because like she's having fun playing a game. And you're like, "Hey Evie, could you pause your game?" She's like, "Why?" And you're like, "What? Don't bite my head off. I just wanted to see what you wanted for dinner."
I mean, I've been there though. Like, yeah.
And it is strange because I've always heard parents talk about this, and like kids definitely, if they have a lot of screen time, they just get angry. And I think maybe it's just they're ingesting a lot of.
It's overload. Yeah.
Yeah, and
stimulation.
But I would have to venture to guess that she was playing Guild Wars 2 from like the age of 4. So she's been playing it for 4 years. I would have to suspect that hand-eye coordination and, understanding concepts that may be a little more advanced have helped her academically. I mean, it would have to be.
Yeah.
She's doing multiplication.
Well, and I think, one of the beautiful things about science and research is that it shows us the good, the bad, and the ugly. And a lot of people focus on one thing and not the other. But I think really this whole conversation, everything we talked about in the show tonight, and everything we've talked about in the past regarding video game research is that you have to have a balance.
Yeah. Also logic. Her comprehension of just basic logic and thinking ahead is farther than I've seen other kids. And when I say other kids, my family has had a ton of children. My family, I swear, they're like Pez dispensers. They just boink them out like crazy.
Pez dispensers?
Dude, my sister has 8. Other family members have more. It's crazy. So anyway.
Well, I'm going to ask you a question about that after the show.
Yeah. I'm sure it hurts. Anyway, moving on. The I've seen their kids, and like they don't play. They're not big gamers, and I don't know if the amount of kids. I have to be careful here, but some of them underperforming. Let's just say that. Anyway,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a focus thing, but I definitely can agree that video games definitely have a positive impact on.
I wonder if it's also a
cognitive
factor
ability.
that they probably don't get as much individualized attention.
I think
You
that's
know,
a big
Evie is
factor.
an only
Yeah.
child,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so she has you and your wife's full attention. And if you've got 8 kids, you're not giving them all the
No,
same
no.
attention. You
I forget.
can't.
Yeah.
I think it was a Daniel Tosh joke about the one reality TV show with the like person with 13 kids, and they're like, "Mommy, which one's your favorite?" And he would say like, "Oh, you're all my favorite." And he's like, "No, it can't be a
No.
13-way tie." Like the redhead, that's the one I hate. Like I don't know. I forget the whole bit, but it was
That's
funny. But
great.
yeah, out of 8, you can't like all of them the same. I can't imagine you could.
Well,
That's a
I
lot of
mean,
love to spread around. I mean,
I
you love
mean, I'm not saying they don't love them all the same.
You don't want to
I'm
see one
saying
get.
you don't have enough time to give to each of your 8 children as you do to your single child.
I used to joke that my sister only had 8 kids because of where she lived. She was just like hedging her bets in case one or two got nipped off by a bear.
Well, and
But
that's like in Alberta, families would be 10, 12, 13 kids because, one of them
I
got
can't
sucked up the auger and chewed to bits. Or like the other 3 died because there was no vaccine available at the time. The other one just wandered off into the bush and never came back. Like, it's a real thing. But nowadays, you have lots of kids for convenience.
But anyway, so moving on. Jeez, this got real.
Anyways, I was just gonna say one other thing. So, from a researcher's perspective, and talking about all these great studies tonight and video games and in research, one of the things I think that would be really cool to look at is genres and the effect of genres on cognition specifically,
Ooh,
because
yeah.
they looked at Super Mario Brothers or Super Mario 64 and Angry Birds, but I don't think that those are a true testament to
Yeah, we need to give
logic,
these kids Portal.
right?
Yeah. Actually, it's funny you say that. My daughter was playing Portal Bridges this.
Yeah,
evening.
Bridge Constructor Portal.
Yeah.
So,
Anyways,
I don't know how
so that's the news, Shalene.
Yes?
she's waiting for the thing.
What's going on the stock ticker this week?
Okay, so we have a stock update. As of October 9th, 2020, we are reporting the stock prices in US dollars, and the plus minus spread is since our last episode of Gamestack. I don't even remember when that was. Sony is down $2.15 at $74.35. Microsoft closed at $215.61. That is up just over $12. So it seems that investors like what Microsoft is doing. Nintendo is down $1.21, closing at $68.78. Take-Two is up just over $8 at $161.64. Activision is holding pretty steady at $78.37, down just 40 cents. Ubisoft had a small increase, $19.33. That's up $1.85 from the last episode. And EA is sitting at $127.20, up $1.18. EA has had pretty solid stock prices. They had a big dip several months ago, like a drastic dip, but they've been holding pretty steady since then. And Tencent is at $70.95. That is up $4.76. So big growth from Tencent as well, which I find interesting, given some of the political issues that Tencent has had lately.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So we've also got a couple of stock-related articles to go over. Which video game stock will stand the most growth by 2025? This is from Benzinga.com, and this is based on data of a survey of what stock traders are the most excited about. So they asked 400 investors and stock traders over the next 5 years which stock will have the largest percentage gain. And of course, the largest portion of responses, 70.7%, believe that Microsoft will have the largest percentage gain. They expect Microsoft shares to be trading around $209 next year.
Wow.
In 5 years, I mean. And 16% say that Sony will grow the most. They believe that the PlayStation 5 will offer significant growth, and because of the pre-orders being so widely sought after. And 13% of responders said that Nintendo would grow the most before 2025. Of course, the Switch has been very popular during the pandemic, but we will see. We will see. The market is volatile, and anything could happen. This is, of course, based on a survey.
Mm-hmm.
I love that they illustrated this with a photo of the original Xbox. I just find that really funny.
Switched on they are.
Well,
Yes.
I mean, they're
The new
accountants.
Xbox coming out will raise the stock up, and here it is. And it's Xbox One.
So funny.
No,
So
not
funny.
Xbox One. It's the first Xbox, not Xbox One. What are you kidding me?
I like how they said that they expect Microsoft stock to be the largest percentage gain at sharing at around $209, but it closed today at $215.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny.
So,
that is
like-
really funny.
But that's a spike, though. That's not an average.
Yeah, that's true. You're right.
So,
Mhm.
I mean, an average over time is much more important in a stock market. I can
Yes,
imagine.
and I mean, things right now are like the stock market in general is super high right now.
Rich people's feelings. Stock market.
I mean, if anybody is planning to sell before the election, it would be a good consideration for any and all stocks, in my opinion.
Stocks always go, but the stock market always goes down before an election, and then it always goes up after the election. Like it always does.
It's interesting though, because a lot of things seem to be impervious to those factors right now because of this pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Again, rich people's feelings. That's all the stock market is.
Yeah.
I think it's the stupidest measuring stick for world economy ever.
It's a scheme
Like-
to make people to make rich people richer. That's
Yeah,
what it
like,
is.
It's stupid. Anyway, I'm gonna...
We also have the top 3 video game stocks to consider purchasing in October. This article is from The Motley Fool by Keith Noonan.
Mm-hmm.
And the 3 stocks that they recommend buying in October, the first is Take-Two Interactive. Of course, the parent company of Rockstar Games. They believe that Grand Theft Auto will continue being a huge factor in Take-Two's performance over the next 5 years. And
Well, no, let's be fair here.
I mean, they're not wrong.
Let's be fair here. There's a new Grand Theft Auto in development. So
Like that'll be out in 5 years.
And I mean, GTA Online will never die. Like it's
No.
just it continues to be incredibly successful.
I think it's getting updated by its own AI that it created out of
Right?
itself.
Right?
It's just like self-perpetuating its own updates.
Of course, Red Dead Redemption is also a factor, and the NBA 2K series they think will increase the success there.
Really?
Yeah, and the second company that they recommend is Glue Mobile. Glue Mobile is, I believe, largely a mobile game developer.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, that is what the article goes on to say. Mobile games that appeal to casual gamers, and to female gamers in particular, says
Oh.
the article.
okay.
So I'm not sure what games they make. I'm only somewhat familiar with.
Well, let me do some research while
them.
you cover the rest of that, and then I
Indeed.
can tell you.
And the final company that they recommend investing in is Huya, not Ouya, but Huya.
Oh man, the Ouya.
Huya
Oh yeah, I've seen Glue Gaming around.
is regarding
Oh,
some
See, there it is.
spectator
it's-
content. It is
Kim Kardashian Hollywood. That's the
that's
game.
The Glue Mobile. That's
That's
Glue
the
Mobile.
one. Well, no,
Well,
they
Glue
have a
Mobile
bunch.
also-
They have a bunch. They've got
Glue Mobile came
Okay,
from
scroll through
Codename.
those again so I can see them.
Okay, so they've got
By the way.
Sorcerer's Arena, Universe, Design Home, Diner Dash Adventures, Tap Sports Baseball 20, Covet Fashion, Cooking
Mhm.
Dash, Restaurant Dash, Kim Kardashian Hollywood, and Deer Hunter. So I think
Okay.
it's a combination of the fashion and the cooking games that are.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Let's get that out of here. Um.
Well, Ancient Empires. There you go. Kingdom of Heaven.
Yeah, I've read this article twice and I still don't understand what Huya is. I'm sorry. I don't know if I've been. Yeah, I don't understand what this company is. It says that a form of spectator content.
What?
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Well,
Booyah!
let me do some more research.
I'm so sorry, but I've read this section of the article 3 times.
So
I
all
don't know
right.
what it is.
Huya
It's
is a
involved
Chinese
with
video
Tencent.
live streaming service.
It's also involved with Tencent.
Okay. Yes. Yes. Tencent owns a large stake of Huya. So
Tencent, man.
we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. I think those are probably not the best things to invest in. Aside from Take Two, I think Take Two will continue to
Well,
be a
I
strong
think
property.
video game stocks in general are not the best things to invest in, but
Mhm.
we're a video game podcast, so we're not exactly going to give recommendations for Wall Street or anything.
Yeah,
Well,
my
the other thing
Nintendo
is,
stock is doing pretty well. It's doing okay. I have been thinking of investing in something different.
Zoom.
Just, yeah.
Actually, it's too late now.
No, I like doing the video game thing. I like, and I just have a couple of stocks. You know, I started with $100, and I'm just doing it. It's sort of a mini game for me. It's not investment.
It's
You know?
gambling.
It's yeah. It's just for
Just
fun.
waiting for
the
that
online
machine to pay
poker.
out.
It's just for fun. So
Great.
Nice.
That's awesome.
yeah, that's your stock update. For this week.
Rick, what have you been playing? Oh wait, do we have a news bumper or thing for that? No, we don't.
No, we
Rick,
don't
what have you
have a
been
news
playing?
Actually, I bought Mafia Definitive Edition, so the remaster
You
of Mafia
did?
1. I did, and I beat it, and
What?
it was
It just came
great.
out like 2 days ago.
No, it didn't. It's been out for like 3 weeks.
Well, I've been like in another universe for 3 weeks, so it feels
Okay,
like it's
well-
been a day. Anyways, tell
Well,
us about
in
it.
that
What
case,
tell us all the things.
So yeah, it's great. I never played No, that's not true. I did play Mafia 1 back in the day, and it was kind of cool because I played it so long ago. I barely remember it, but I remember bits and pieces, like stealing the race car, and that was in Mafia 1. And really, what they did was they rebuilt it from the ground up on the Mafia 3 engine.
Okay.
So the combat and gameplay feels like Mafia 3, the covering system and things like that. The story was expanded a little bit. And here's what is awesome. Here's what was just like you're on a beach with no water and you've been out in the sun for 5 hours and someone walked up and just like sloshed a bucket of like perfectly temperature water on you as a breeze comes through and then you can get like a nice cold Corona beer, not the virus. But like that kind of refreshing thing is what happened when you play Mafia Definitive Edition because it's an open world, but the main story is level based. So you're never really free to roam the open world unless you go to the main menu and pick free roam. And I cannot tell you how freeing that is because it's not like here's a storyline, have 50,000 mini quests and build an empire and do all this crazy stuff. Buy outfits, buy cars, buy no. You start a mission
I'm going to have to buy this.
and you complete it and it's in the Prohibition era.
Oh, I
The
need it.
radio's 1930s.
I need
Dude,
it right now.
it's so good. And you're like, and you know, at one point you're getting into a gunfight in a car, and this guy's like shooting out with a Tommy gun, and you're shooting with a 45. And he's like, Tommy, drive faster, go faster. And he's like, I'm giving her all she's got. And the speed limiter's pegged
it's
out
so
at 45
good.
miles an hour because this car is like 20 horsepower. It's
That
like,
is wonderful.
it's such a different feeling, and it's such a good game. And here's what's insane: they've changed it up a little bit, where tie-ins from the main characters of Mafia 2 are actually tying in with Mafia 1, and that also ties in with Mafia 3. So now I've started playing Mafia 2 again, which, by the way, if you've never played Mafia 2, you start out in World War II, and then you come back to New York, and you get dropped off by a cab. And vendor, listen to this. You get
Okay.
dropped off
Oh,
by a
sorry,
cab.
guys. I'm blocking all of your. Whoops.
Huh?
Continue. Sorry.
No. You get dropped off by a cab in the middle of New York in winter, and you get to walk home in your overcoat as Dean Martin is playing like in the game. and it is just one of in like 1945 or 44.
Really?
Dude, it is one of the coolest moments
Nice.
I've ever had in a game, and it's just like, oh, this feels so good.
So what are your first impressions then
So
of
you,
the?
I think you're looking at the old
Oh,
Mafia.
is this the old one? Crap.
That's the yeah. You got to find like the remaster. Um, but what was your question? I'm sorry.
What was your first impressions?
Um, that it didn't feel like an old game, which it really shouldn't.
Oh,
And
this looks
again,
great.
it's been long enough now that if you probably haven't played it if you're of a certain age, and it's great to get into it. If you're a fan of like Boardwalk Empire,
I was
play this
just
game.
gonna say this is
Yeah,
literally Boardwalk Empire.
absolutely. The only thing is, I wish the story dealt more with booze running in the Prohibition. It doesn't really, um, but it is really a fun game. You should definitely play it. So I've been playing that. No Man's Sky had a recent update, and it's also pretty fantastic. They've redone a lot of their
Mm-hmm.
randomization of planets and creatures, things like that. So creatures are a lot more robust. Planets have volcanoes and big, buildings and things like that. So I got back into playing that, and it's fun. I finally found a planet that I like. It's a desert planet with um, some harsh weather, but I really like the cacti that's around. They're little mini cacti. It's really cute. Um, and I found this plateau that's perfectly level. Like very rarely in this game will you find like a perfectly level
Mm-hmm.
area, and this is like just straight level that juts out into the ocean. So um, that's fine. There's really nothing new as far as story content. They just really updated the when you're flying into a planet, the cloud formations that you see flying in are the cloud formations that are actually in the planet. So you can aim for like whole like cloud openings, so you don't go through a cloud and smack into the ground like I may have done a few times.
Yeah,
Um,
I particularly. Oh, I'll comment on that later. But
okay. I spent hours finding the perfect ship. I found one of those ships that is a fighter but has the maximum amount of cargo space.
which is 48 slot.
Yeah, it has all the slots and all the technology slots. The only thing is it was an A class, so I'm saving up nanites to make it an S. But I must have spent like 5 hours reloading my game, reloading my game, reloading my game, waiting for one of these dumb ships to land, and I finally got it. It's black and yellow and has the cool engines in the back. Um, and I'm really excited about it. And so I've been playing that. What else have I been playing? Uh, I think that kind of covers it. I've been playing some Fallout 76, obviously, and the new score is out. We've been doing that. Nuclear Winter, we have a reason to play that again, and that's been fun. We had. So one day we were playing Nuclear Winter, and I was talking to Shalene and Arch, and I said, well, it's strange. And I wasn't trying to say this to be like, how dare we never get recognized. But I was like, it's strange that we play Fallout 76 and it's not like I've never had anyone, maybe once, go, "Hey, you're from the podcast. Good to see you," kind of thing. And I was like, "Oh, it's just interesting that hasn't happened very regularly, if at all." And the very next day, we had one of the worst nuclear winter matches ever. Like we just like kind of fumbled into everybody else's bullets and died. I
It
mean,
was real bad.
it
We're
was
much
the
better than
worst.
that usually.
It was the worst. And in the death screen, when we're all dead and we failed and we felt miserable, this dude gets on the chat and he's like, "Hey, are you guys from that podcast?" And I'm like, "Oh, all the times." Yep, that's us. And it was really cool, like meeting someone who listens to us that we haven't interacted with, that I know of in the chat.
And who was this? Give them a shout out.
It was Gaming Alien
Ah,
There we
from
go.
the new Discord mentions.
excellent. Welcome,
Yeah,
welcome.
and so it's really cool. I was like, "Oh, hey, usually we're better than this," but then again, that's not actually the case. If you've seen our show, this is about par for course, and so that was really fun. And so yeah, we've been playing some Fallout 76. There
I've
is a
also been
lot of
shilling a lot in Nuclear Winter. Like
I
we will
hate
play,
when you
yeah,
shill, but you do it anyway, which I
yeah,
think makes
I
it fun.
do. That's part of the reason why I do it is because you hate it so much.
And it's
So
just so
we'll be a Nuclear Winter, and they'll be like, "Hey man, good game," and I'll be like, "Yeah, listen to that Fallout show."
And I'm like, stop, don't. And she'll do it anyway. Um, so real quick, I was watching a video and there was a lot of new content that this person was putting out, and they were saying it was from the data mine server in Fallout. And I'm not going to spoil any of it, except for one thing. It's small, but Shalina will love it. Anyway, there's a lot of cool stuff coming out that I'm excited for. It's already in the PTS, so it's not technically a spoiler. But Shalene, there is one piece of content that is going to be kind of more Atom Shoppy that's coming out, and you're going to love it. Backpack charms are coming.
That's so cute.
Yes, and I'm excited. Like the little dingly danglies. It's gonna- So anyway, yeah, there's so much cool stuff coming out from the PTS and the data mine server, and then that when I saw that backpack charm come up right now, the free one is a little red rocket. I was like,
Aw.
Shalene, because we spent time in Division 2
Yes.
trying to find the little backpack charms.
Yes.
And I don't know
we
what-
actually made it a bit of a mission to find those backpack charms in Division 2.
Yeah, and so I was very excited about that. I was like, oh, that's really cool because now they jingle them. So anyway, so Fallout 76, a little bit of Minecraft here and there, but nothing special. Anyway, what about you, Vendor? What have you been playing?
Well, I've also dived back into No Man's Sky. Yeah, this week was particularly challenging. So I a couple weekends ago, Carlo and I went hiking. We went on a hiking trip. We finished over 30 square kilometers in 2 days. It was pretty busy. It was really nice to get away and see the Canadian Rockies.
The pictures looked awesome.
Oh,
I was very jealous.
literally sitting on the edge of the world. Yeah, it was awesome. We hiked like crazy, and it was a little bit treacherous at times. I'm just gonna go into this because I'm already talking about it. So the first day we did a trail called Sea Level Cirque, which is just off of Lake Minnewanka, which is actually here's a little fun fact for you. It's one of the lakes that all of the people who are trying to discredit flat earthers, it's one of the lakes that those people use because you can actually see the curvature of the planet because of how long the lake is.
Wow.
So you can actually show that stuff on the other side of the lake disappears below the waterline. Anyways, that's beside the point. So the trail was by that lake. It was tough. It was 14 kilometers through lots of thick roots, lots of thick bush, very heavy bear country. We heard some bison, but we didn't see them. And then we got up past the tree line and we went up the side of the mountain and just sat and turned on our little stove and had some hot lunch. It was
beautiful.
awesome. The second day we did, it's called a trail called Big Beehive by Lake Louise, one of the most famous lakes in the Rockies. Climbed up to the top of the mountain, literally sat on the edge and just like watched the whole world. It was awesome. So anyways, I came back from that and I was kind of like, I had all this work to do. I was like completely overwhelmed. So the last couple weeks I've been playing catch up. This week was particularly hard, so I decided that I was going to take Tuesday off, which actually morphed into also taking Wednesday off.
You need like a day to come down and then a day that's actually the day off. You know?
Yes. So I jumped back into No Man's Sky, and because the new update. And every time there's I don't know, I have this weird relationship with No Man's Sky. Every time there's an update, I start over. I just completely start a whole new thing. And it's good. I actually invested quite a bit of time playing it, just listening to some Fallout sort of vintage music, flying around space, shooting stuff, selling things, building stuff. I made it through the majority of the main storyline. I am now at my way to making my way to the center of the universe, which I still have not done yet in No Man's Sky.
What?
I know.
Well, if he always starts new, then
Exactly. This is the thing.
Yeah,
So I talked to Artemis, talked to Apollo, talked to Null, learned a lot about Atlas, all that stuff. Now I'm making my way to the center. I found the best planet. Once you work past the acid rainstorms, it's not so bad. But it's very tropical, beautiful blue oceans, beaches, palm trees. Oh, it's just divine. And I've got my little corridors with my little pods, and they're all connected, and I'm slowly building. I got my solar panels. It's all self-sustaining. So, yeah, it's pretty fun. I enjoy playing it. I missed it. Forgot how much I miss it. Then, of course, flying around in a ship made me want to fly around in planes, so I hopped back into Microsoft Flight Simulator because they dropped a 9.8 gigabyte update after their 97 gigabyte update. 97 gigabyte update, you guys.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's like Call of Duty. Like Call of Duty.
That was their first update. That was the first update they ever did. But anyways.
Holy crap.
Yeah, the new updates fixed a lot of the annoying things that a lot of people have been experiencing with Microsoft Flight Sim. The autopilot's still totally broken, like I talked about before. And there's this new bug that I have now with the Boeing 787 where, I mean, the autopilot never worked, so I have to make manual course adjustments to my flight plan to turn the plane because the autopilot doesn't do it automatically. It's very annoying. But there's this bug now when I go to change the altitude of the plane, it will get to the altitude, but it will not be able to maintain the altitude, so the plane just does this, up and down. It overcompensates, and then it goes back down, and then it goes past, 20,000 feet, and then it'll go back up past 20,000 feet, above 20,000, and then down, and then up, and it just can't maintain 20,000 or whatever altitude I have it set at. But what I'm finding is happening is that 3 times now I have tried. The plane literally stops in midair, goes into a full spiral, and spins to the ground and crashes.
Wow.
And I don't know why that is happening.
Maybe it's applying its air brake.
And this is flight sim, so there is a lot of work that goes into starting the plane from cold and dark to getting it onto the runway, to getting it into the air, and just maintaining all those systems. There's a lot of work to, it's about 20 to 25 minutes before you're even off the ground.
Really?
Yes, because you go through full flight sequence, pre-flight. And then once you're in the air, there's all this other stuff you have to do. So you spend all this time, and then your plane literally just spirals into the ground. And you're like... So it's super frustrating. This is a new bug that came with, I think, the last update, and I'm not sure if they're going to fix it, but the commercial airliners are such a mess.
Do you have to update your 747s with floppy disks like in real life?
There is no 747 in the... Oh, no, there is a 747. There's no 737. But, yeah, I wonder if there's a floppy disk, insert in the cockpit. I should look for that.
Well, there is in real life.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I wonder.
That's
look over,
wonderful.
it's just a
That is
5-inch
wonderful.
floppy. You're like, eh.
It's the new update really brought about some great stability things because there was a lot of problems graphically. There was a lot of problems. I could not run the game even in high. I had to run it mostly medium low. But now I can run it in ultra on my 1080, nice. Which is nice. Awesome. So they've really optimized it. It's really come a long way, and it's quite smooth. But there's a lot of technical problems with the planes themselves. So,
can you
but
fly
it's pretty
under
good.
The San Francisco Bridge yet?
Oh yeah.
I was watching too.
This is the amazing thing is that there's so much to explore. I could spend a lifetime exploring in this, and I will still not see everything. I still have to go to Shalene's house. I still have to go to your house. Those airports are there. We just have to fly them.
I really want you to fly to the airports at my job. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, we should plan a time and do that. Yeah.
I was watching some people play on YouTube, and they were trying to fly under the Frisco Bridge, and then when he got to the edge of it, underneath of it, he just smacked nothing and then fell into the water.
Oh yeah.
They're like, oh no.
I wonder if they fixed the Thames. I flew through the Thames. Carlo and I flew through the Thames in London because we were there and stuff. We wanted to see the London Eye and bring up some memories of our vacation. The Thames is actually super high, and there's points of it that are over top of the roads, and the cars are going under the water to cross the bridges because the water is so high. So I wonder if they fixed that. I'm not sure.
High tide,
no
How
tide.
silly.
The
Yeah.
ice caps have melted. It's
Anyways, that's my gameplay. What about you, Shalene?
Well, of course, guys, mine is like the same as always.
We'll skip it.
Well, stop. No, let's don't do that, Rick, okay? Animal Crossing, of course. Animal Crossing. It's spooky season in Animal Crossing, so I have been growing pumpkins. And I'm very excited about that. It's been very fun. I have a beautiful pumpkin patch behind my house. And I'm talking to all of my little villagers and getting lots of crafting recipes for spooky decorations to create with my pumpkins. It's very cute. And buying candy. We can only buy one piece of candy every day for our villagers, and we have to be prepared for Halloween. We have to have candy to hand out to the villagers and to the czar of Halloween who will come. And I've been putting together some Halloween costumes for my little villager. It's been quite fun. But I have a bit of a horror story with Animal Crossing. And I did already tell this in the Discord, but it's a story. So
Sorry.
my animal
Sorry.
that's okay, it's fine. My Animal Crossing island, each island starts out with 2 villagers. And one of my original villagers was Hazel. She's an adorable squirrel with a unibrow. I love Hazel. And my other villager was this disgusting gorilla named Louie. And I hated Louie. I hated Louie. Louie, he doesn't wear pants, and he has like this gross, like his butt just hanging out. It's very gross. And I hated Louie. He's just, I hate Louie. I hate Louie. And I wanted to get rid of Louie very badly. It took quite a long time. Finally, Louie decided to move away from my island. I was so relieved. Thank goodness Louie is gone. And Louie, he left my island. I was really pleased. And just for a bit of background, my mom and I sit together every day and play Animal Crossing. It's
So
just, yeah, we'll sit together and just play Animal Crossing and look at what the other one's doing and compare crafting recipes, and we'll show each other when our villagers are doing really cute things. And my mom got a new villager the day after Louie left at her island, and she was really excited to have a new villager moving in. It was Louie. It was Louie. And she was just like, oh, are you serious? I can't, you send him here. Why are you sending him here? I'm like, Mom, that's not how it works. Like, it's just luck, you know, it's bad luck. I'm sorry. But it was real funny. It was real funny to me that Louis showed up at my mom's island. And she spent ages also trying to get rid of Louis. She finally convinced Louis to leave. And she was so pleased. And I had this little bear named Cody. I also wanted him to leave. I did not like Cody. And Cody decided to leave. And it was within a couple days of each other that we got Cody and Louie to both leave our islands. And we were so pleased with ourselves. And the next day, after Cody left, I thought, okay, I am going to go on some Nook Miles tours. I am going to find a cute little villager and bring them home. And I booted up Animal Crossing only to see that plot of land had already sold to frickin' Louie. So he's back. He's back on my island. I'm traumatized. I'm being stalked by this horrible gorilla, and I want him to leave. And I hate him. And does anybody know how to help me get rid of Louie? I want Louie gone. I want him gone.
I have cousins.
I feel like someone in the Nook family must do what work, right? Like,
You like fishing? You can sleep with the fishes.
also, we've been playing Left 4 Dead 2. Of
Mhm.
course, we're continuing our Sunday Left 4 Dead 2 streams.
Technically, Left 4 Dead 1 inside of Left 4 Dead 2.
Yes,
Like an
it's
Inception
confusing.
thing.
I wasn't sure how to label it when I was posting the YouTube video, but it is. We have finished the Left 4 Dead 2 campaign and moved on to the Left 4 Dead 1 campaign, and it's quite fun. Sulior is saying I can go to Isabel and have her kick him out. That doesn't seem to work. I talked to Isabel about the villagers, and she'll say like, "Oh, sorry. Like, I'm sorry that you've had a bad experience with this villager," and then they continue to live at my island forever, for all eternity. But yeah, Left 4 Dead has been really fun. Quite enjoying that. So continue to join us on Sundays, and we post the archives of those on YouTube if you'd like to catch them there. And of course, Fallout 76 has been most of my gaming time lately. Keeping up with the new season of homework. I do enjoy having that little checklist of things to do every day when I get home. And we've done some progress on the Wastelanders Raider quest line. I talked to Ra Ra and Gentleman Johnny and did their quests and quite enjoyed it. The Raiders have a lot of personality. I really love doing the daily ops. That's something that I've quite enjoyed. And I feel like the daily ops remind me a little bit of our time playing The Division. I don't know why, but it reminds me a little bit of playing The Division. Yeah.
Maybe because we approached it a little bit more tactically than
Maybe.
most things. Yeah.
Maybe.
The Division, we were always a little bit more
Tactical. Yeah.
communicative about.
Mm-hmm. And of course, Nuclear Winter continues to be really, really fun. It is a bit more challenging for us this season, though, because now that they have made those Nuclear Winter challenges less necessary for completing the scoreboard, the lobbies tend to be full of people who would be playing Nuclear Winter anyway. You know, the people who are hardcore Nuclear Winter players.
Level 200s and such.
It's an all-star cast of people who have killed us before.
It is. It's like you're living through every 80s horror movie. Like you spawn into, oh, there's Jason and Freddy. We're gonna die. Don't know how. Don't know where. We're gonna die.
We did actually manage to kill some of them.
Yeah, we killed
night,
Voided Spark. Well, actually, Archon killed
really
Voided Spark.
Yeah. I'm going to say we and take a little bit of that credit as well, even though I was downed at the time and helpless.
And Archon just nade spammed it.
But we're a team. We're a team.
Right.
So his victories are our victories, and our losses are his losses, because we're a team.
Right.
I don't know why this man plays with us. Okay, we also last night was a wild night in Fallout 76.
Oh my lord.
We've got to talk about this. It was a wild night.
Yeah.
Vendor, you would not believe. You would not believe last night.
Okay, go.
So, we're playing Fallout 76. Everything's chill. We're just doing our assignments on the homework. It's great. You know, we're having a good time. I need to craft some bullets for one of the challenges. I'm like, okay, so I'm just going to pop back home to my camp. I'm going to craft a couple of bullets, and then we'll move on to the next thing. There are a couple of people at my camp. I'm thinking they're probably shopping in my vending machines. We have a bit of a running joke about this because Rick only sells things from his vending machines when I'm not logged in, because I have similar stock, but I sell it for like a fifth of the price.
Pennies on the dollar, basically.
Yes, I am the Walmart to his boutique, and I undercut him at every round. Anyways, that's beside the point. I assumed these people were shopping at my vending machines, and I get there and they're not shopping at the vending machines. They're on my roof, at the table and chairs that I have up there. They're up on the rooftop, just hanging out, and it seemed odd to me because at first I thought they were just kind of enjoying the view, but then they were kind of going in circles around the table and chairs, which was very bizarre. And they continued to do this for long enough that it started to freak me out a little bit. So I'm standing down there just staring up at these two guys, and it's very weird. And one of them comes down. Finally, I stop staring at them and I go move on. I'm doing some inventory management, et cetera, et cetera. And one of the guys comes down and he horribly butchers my name. You know, that's fine. It's an uncommon name. And I corrected him, and he's like, Shalene, I want to tell you, your camp, it's trash. And you're trash. And there's no creativity here. Your base is trash. You don't even deserve to have a base. And he just starts railing on my base. He's like, this Deathclaw, it's in the way. What's it doing here? And power armor station. It's crooked. It's crooked. Why
Oh,
would
so
you do that?
he's joking at this point. Yeah. Okay.
And
I guess.
he spends like 20 minutes telling me that my camp is trash and that
It's a
I'm
long time.
trash, and it was I'm fairly confident that I'm not exaggerating when I say 20 minutes. This
Yeah.
guy
It
Was he
like the
was
Gordon
he
Ramsay.
was he English? Was he American?
Yes. Yeah, he was English.
It was an English accent. I'm not 100% confident that it was in genuine,
Yeah,
authentic.
yeah. It was
English
definitely like a
accent.
Gordon Ramsay-esque type
Oh.
situation.
Okay.
But he's just bashing my camp. He goes around and just tears it all apart. And he'll occasionally throw out a little comment like, this wallpaper on the inside, it's kind of nice. But everything else is trash. The place is trash.
And you're just sitting there pissing yourself laughing.
I was
eventually came
laughing
'cause I'm
so
dying, 'cause I
hard.
wanted to
And
see this whole thing.
I just had the giggles. I had the giggles. And I finally explained to Rick and Archon what was happening. And they were like, what?
Yeah, because we only heard one side of this conversation from Shalene, and we're like,
Mhm.
and it sounded friendly.
Mhm.
And then Shalene's like, oh, he's calling me trash. We're like, I've got to come hear this because this sounds.
So
Nutty.
they come, and I believe, Rick, I think it was you who said, like, we may need to defend your honor. Like, I don't
That was Archon. I just was coming
it
to enjoy
Archon?
the show. I observe. He defends,
Now-
So the guys showed up. Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna no finish. I'll ask you after. Just remind me.
So the guys came to see this, and he continues, and I listened to him, and I'm like, okay, thank you for the input. I appreciate that input. How would you recommend that I improve it? What would you suggest? And he had no suggestions, and he's continuing to just rail on my camp. And
No suggestions, only criticisms.
I
He
think
didn't have a
Archon
camp
told
either, by the
him.
way.
I think Archon told him, you should have seen the place when it was a 1x1 square.
yeah.
And this guy's like, it looks like you just threw things around, and I'm like, well, about that. That's... And I have the table and chairs and a fire pit on the roof of the house, and he's like, this is actually really lovely, and you have the lovely view, but why is it on the roof? Build a balcony, you lazy bum.
Yeah.
And I'm losing my mind laughing.
And then at one point he's like, wait, are you a girl? And we're
Yes.
like, yeah.
I've been talking to you for 20 minutes, and you just picked that up.
Who do you think she is, Tiny Tim? Like, I mean,
So okay, so are these guys? I wonder if this is like a
a bit.
Fallout 76 decor critic strikes again or something.
I don't know. I don't know if they were doing a stream or getting ready for a video or something, but they were hilarious.
That's
and
pretty
I thought
good.
it was really funny. And Arshan was asking to see their camp. And he said, I don't have a camp on this character.
Right.
I'm running 4 characters. And Arshan's like, well, so am I.
And Archon's like, I have
Where's your
4.
camp?
I have 4 camps. They're all mansions.
Exactly. And I was like, well, have you posted photos of your camps? I'd like to see them and learn, from your expertise, your camp building expertise.
You should have been like, or maybe we should have you on the show. And you can
Right. And he was making fun of my billboard. He's like, this doesn't even rhyme.
Because it's not a poem.
So
It's
I'm not
prose.
trying to rhyme. I'm trying to promote my podcasts. And finally, I tell the guy that
doesn't even rhyme. I'm going to say that next time I review a scientific paper for a journal article.
It doesn't even rhyme.
Reviewer comment number 1, it doesn't even rhyme.
So finally, I tell this guy, like, hey, I would really like it if you went and looked at my friend Rick's camp across the lake, because I actually really like his camp. Like, it's a really good camp, and I'm really proud of it. And so he did actually go to check out Rick's camp, and he was pretty mean to your camp too, it sounded like.
Yeah, he was like, so my camp, it's not the best, and I'm also like in the middle of trying to redecorate the thing. So he's like, the downstairs it's okay. The modern art piece is in a terrible location. So when he said that, I took it and moved it in the middle of the floor. And then he's like the piano in the corner there with the globe. That's nice, but everything else is off, and it looks like he didn't have any direction. He's like, and it was a beautiful rock. Why would you put plants on the rock? You put stuff all over the rock, and the statue's holding a pumpkin. Halloween. And then he's like, the ceiling has this terrible grate thing going on. I'm like, well, they didn't have glass roofs. All I had was the thing. And so it ended up where he was just going on and
This
on.
has got to be a bit. He's
Well-
got to be a streamer, and he
Well,
probably
it's-
just goes around to people's camps all night on stream and just does that. It's
it
got
would
to
have
be.
been funnier if he just wasn't like using the same
Yes.
things
He kept
as he was
talking
saying
about
initially.
feng shui over
Yeah,
and over
like he kept
again.
using it. So anyway, I'm getting ready for the daily op. So like he's back there berating. I'm like, yep.
Yeah.
Opens trunk, get gun. Yep, it's terrible. Gets ammo, puts the guns back, puts the perks
Yeah.
in the right
Well,
place.
thanks for
Yep,
stopping
fine.
by. I gotta go.
And then we go. All right, daily op. Bloop, we hit into the daily op. So Shalene, let's talk about that. Go ahead.
Yes, so we go into the daily op, and we always open the team so that we can be joined by a fourth random person, to do the
foursomes
daily
are
op.
nice.
And the person who joined our team was Wickety Chickadee, who is one of Archon's favorite YouTubers. And so I was like, "Hey, Arch, it's her, it's," and he was like, "Oh, cool," and I was like, "Well, tell her hello, say hi."
I know. You can't.
And finally, he's
Go,
like,
go. And he-
I like your videos.
What's great, he can't defend himself either on this, so we can
I know he got all
say
shy.
like,
It
you
was
should have heard the laugh he did. It was like, hi, that didn't happen at all, but we could
It
say
didn't
that
happen,
it did.
but-
You'd have to believe us.
It was very cute. I thought it was very cute, and so that was
She was
fun.
ripping people apart, man.
Yeah, she was. We did that daily op in, I believe, a record time. It was like 5 minutes and 24 seconds.
Yeah.
So, Wickety confirmed good at games. So Wickety Chickadee, check her out. Her channel is pretty good. I've watched on Archon's recommendation. She does a lot of good videos if you're into completionist tendencies.
So real quick, I want to piggyback on that we went and we did the loading screen. We go into the daily op. We do the daily op, and then we spend like another like 30 seconds, 40 seconds, or a minute or whatever to like loot everything. And then we load out of the daily op. And as I load out of the daily op back into my place, I hear footsteps, and I look up, and the dude is still at my house. I haven't been there for like 6 or 7 minutes. So I'm
You go back, and he's like, "And this lamp! Look, who
Well,
puts
like-
a lamp like this?"
I didn't even bother. I'm just like, I'm going to Archon's to
He's
read.
still going.
I'm not even dealing with this. So I just whoop, right to Archon's.
Oh, it's great.
Oh, it was so good. It was so good. So it was a wild night of Fallout 76.
Was, man.
Something that I am planning to do, probably starting tomorrow. So there's, on Fallout 76 is on Game Pass and Game Pass for PC. So on Game Pass for PC, it has its own achievement list, and I want to do it. I want to do the achievements. So, go ahead.
I was gonna say, didn't we get nuclear winter last night? No, we didn't. Never mind.
Yeah. What do you mean? Did we get
Winning. I
nuclear
thought we
winter?
got overseer.
We
last
did.
night.
Yeah.
Was it last
We
night
got
we got
Overseer last night. Yeah.
Okay.
It was a good round.
Then it was a crazy night.
It was a crazy night. So I'm planning to work on an achievement run for Fallout 76 on the PC version. It's gonna be great. Yeah. That's it. That's my gameplay.
Huh. Well, guys,
Alright.
this has been one marathon of a show.
Ooh.
I suppose we should head out for the evening, but before we do that, any plugs or announcements?
Yeah, we have next Friday that Fallout show here at twitch.tv/We Just Love Games at 8:30 Eastern, 6:30 Mountain. So stay tuned for that. But we have a couple of special events that I want to plug. We have heard the cries of the 2 or 3 people that have said something, and we are going to start doing a community game night with Fallout 76. There have been a few people who have asked us to do that. Those will most likely be, and I say most likely because we're going to leave it a little loosey-goosey, but the last Thursday of every month at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're going to hop in the Discord channel and play Fallout 76 with you guys on PC if you have it available. It just seems to be the easiest way to do it. The day is going to be flexible. But yeah, we want to start playing with the community. Ooh, that sounded weird. We want to start playing games with you guys. And so yeah, the last Thursday, just kind of so that would be for this month. It would be what, the 29th of this month. We'll be playing some Fallout with you guys.
And if I could just make a suggestion, communicate through Discord, make a channel,
Yes,
maybe,
we will be.
or use
we will be-
FO76 channel.
Yep, we will be posting the at everyone's to let everyone know, or
Great,
in the
great.
76 channel to let you guys there. So there's that. Following the 29th, or no, sorry, the week before that, on October the 24th, okay, we are going to be doing a Halloween Fallout 76 get together. All right. So we haven't decided a time yet, but that Saturday on the 24th, we're all going to be gathering in a server. We're going to try to take over a server in Fallout 76, and there's going to be costume contest where we're going to give away some prizes, okay? And then we're going to try to go trick-or-treating if we can, which will be kind of interesting to see how that goes. But either way, we're going to get together that day and have some Halloween fun on October 24th. We'll let you know what time. So that is going to be happening. On November the 7th, we will be doing Extra Life again this year. I will be heading that again because I like torture, apparently. And I guess, I don't know if you two are going to join in at some point or at all.
I'll be there for part of it.
Okay.
I'm not doing the 24-hour thing.
I will.
right.
I will throw some money at you, but I will not be participating in Extra Life this year.
All right, so I'll be doing that on November 7th for 24 hours, Lord willing. And there we go with that. The next thing I also wanted to announce is the Survival Horror Sunday this Sunday, right around 6 p.m., I think, here. We're going to be doing the next iteration of Left 4 Dead 1's campaign. I can't remember which one it is, but we'll be doing that as well. Gamestack will be next week?
No, week after next.
So
the 23rd. The 23rd of October, the Dames Who Game will be returning to Gamestack to grace us with their lovely presence, and I'm very
I
excited.
thought it was
Awesome.
Rick and I were going to be on Dames.
No, it's...
Oh, they're returning. Well,
Yeah,
this is
they're
exciting.
returning.
Oh, very exciting.
They're
Wow, we
returning
have
to
a lot of
Gamestack,
stuff
yeah.
to do this
I
month.
know. And then Dave Chaffin?
Dave Chaffins.
Dave
Yeah, we're gonna
Chaffins.
record with him.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
cool.
expect a new episode from Dave's new
Geography
podcast.
Arcade is the
Mhm.
name of his show, so we will be on there. You can expect us on there.
And the last thing to announce, in the Discord servers, I do a music stream on Thursdays at 8 p.m. Every Thursday. So look for the Dix Pix Radio Show in the Discord server and join me for that. It's usually from 8 to 9, and we do some cool music stuff. So that's about it. That's
But
a
wait,
lot-
there's
yeah, a lot.
more.
Oh,
But
there
wait,
is.
there's more. Yes, Archon was on a podcast.
Oh,
yes.
that's right.
I am a little hurt that his first podcast experience was not one of ours. But he and I were on Fallout Feed together at the last
Oh, wow.
episode.
Awesome.
So you can check that out.
Cool. See, there's a lot going on this month. There's a lot going on this. So,
I'm
yeah,
tired already.
to keep up to date with most of it, please join the Discord server, ask us for a link, or just go to twitch.tv/WeJustLoveGames and look for the link at the bottom of the page.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes,
there you
and
go.
if you would like to send us an email, you can do that as well. Send us an email at info@wejustlovegames.com. We will read it out on the show and talk about it. If you have any questions or you just want to share your gameplay experience or how much you love Shalene's makeup, those are all kosher topics to send in an email. We are also on Twitter. We have a Twitter presence at We Just Love Games, Shalene at Shalene L, Rick at Rick Mayfick, and myself at Vendertron N. We're also on Facebook, facebook.com/We Just Love Games, facebook.com/groups/We Just Love Games. As Rick mentioned, join our Discord, Chat After Dark. You can get the link right below in our Twitch stream. We record live every other Friday, Gamestack, and the alternating Friday, that Fallout show at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, right here on twitch.tv/We Just Love Games. Don't forget, we also are on YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and any other podcast platform. Be sure to like and subscribe and leave us a review, and we'll shout you out on the show. That's a show, everyone. Thank you all for listening. Do either of you have a last word?
Sure, it's better to go down swinging than rolling over.
Good night, guys.
Love you. Bye.